and Brad, the two most famous physical therapists on the internet.
Hi, I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
Brad, today we're going to talk about, are you double jointed? We have a test to determine if you're double jointed. And we also have some advice for you if you are.
Right.
Because it can give you problems.
And I think we can clarify double jointed is a slang term.
Right.
In the therapy world, we call it hypermobility of the joint.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you have two joints.
Right.
There's no issue there.
It just means they have excess range of motion at the end range, basically.
You have a single joint. It's called, if you have, 10 to 25% of the population has this.
Okay.
And it's called joint hypermobility syndrome. I looked that up. Or benign joints hypermobility syndrome. And it's also called, kind of interchanged with, ehlers-danlos syndrome.
Right, right.
So,
the big thing is a lot of people have this condition and there's no problems with it.
Right.
There are some things that you need to watch for, and if you want to be active, some things that we'll go through later in the video on exactly.
right. So first we're going to go through the test,
Sure.
which is Baton's hypermobility score. And it's a 9-point test. And if you get 6 points or over, you're considered hypermobile.
Okay.
So you're testing both sides.
Right.
So let's go ahead and start, Brad.
Okay. We have our clinic clothes on. This is really best to be done with a pair of shorts and short sleeves.
Exactly.
But you'll see why.
Oh, and before we do the test, Brad, by the
Right.
way, if you haven't subscribed already, there's people that are coming onto our channel all the time.
Right.
We upload a video every day, usually in the evening, and there's a little subscribe button right down there. It's free.
It's a red on my computer, little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just put the little
I bet you
arrow
just
on.
covered it up right now.
Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead and hit that baby, and we're going to give you lots of videos on how to stay healthy and fit and pain-free and all those things. Okay.
Let's do the test.
Let's do the test. The first test is going to be the little pinky, Brad, and you're going to take that, you're going to bend it back, and if you can bend it back to this point, where it's actually a right angle, like that.
That would be 90 degrees.
Yep. If I could go all the way back to that, and I don't, so I don't pass,
Okay.
or I don't get a point, you do it on either side.
You get a point for each hand.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay.
90 degrees on the pinky.
Number 2 is the thumb.
Okay.
So now you're going to take the thumb. And this one I see on a lot of people. This is the one I have patients do, Brad, by the
Sure.
way, because I want to just, when we're checking out people, we want to see if they're hypermobile.
Yeah.
So I say, can you take your thumb? And if you can take your thumb and put it down to the wrist.
Yeah. I don't even come close.
Yeah, you're not hypermobile at all. We should have had somebody here that was hypermobile.
We did last time.
I know, last time we did, Nancy. So, okay, now it's the left elbow.
So you'd have 4 points so far. If
You could have 4 points if
Okay.
you.
The elbow, you go like this, and you can see my elbows
Right.
is straight.
He's completely straight, so you want to see if it bends down a little bit beyond that, 10 degrees. So if it bent down,
Show what 10 degrees would look like.
okay, 10 degrees is right there. Oh no, that's too much. 10 degrees is right there.
That's 10 degrees of. Are we at flexion or extension?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's got to go backwards.
10 degrees.
Okay, so that gives you an idea. I don't know if they could see that very well on the camera.
If his arm was level with that, or
Yeah,
parallel
you'll
with
see
that.
people that do this. They go like that, and their
Yeah.
elbows backwards.
A lot more common in women on that one.
Sure.
I think a lot of people that might be hypermobile in that joint alone, but not anywhere else.
Sure.
I see it.
Is
So,
that 1 point for each arm?
1 point for each
Okay,
arm?
next
All right.
one.
Next one is the knee.
Okay.
Okay, so that one is a good one where, if you want to grab that other chair, Brad, too, maybe? It's kind of the same issue on this one.
Oh, we got to subject these people to your legs?
I should have had a tattoo on there. Now, I used to be a little bit hypermobile. How am I now?
You might be extending down a little bit.
A little bit?
If we put this goni here straight at 0.
Can you see that, Lonnie? You can see this side too? Okay.
Now, 10 degrees would be here, and you can see he would have to go up that
So I'm a few
far.
degrees probably, huh?
Right, yep. I would say, you're at about, 3 or 4.
This is probably more normal right there,
Yep.
and I'm a little bit hyperextended.
Yeah.
I think I used to be worse. And we'll talk about this
Sure,
later.
you bet.
So, all right, so you can get 1 point for each knee.
Each knee, okay. So we're at 2, 4, 6, 8 right now?
2, 4, 6, 8. Who do you appreciate? All right, and then we're going to go, forward flexion of the trunk. Let's do this both, Brad.
Okay.
See See who's the best
Okay.
or the worst.
So we're going to keep our knees straight?
Knees straight.
Okay.
You got to see how close you can get to the floor.
Well, you're taller, though.
Yeah. If I bend my knees,
Yeah, that doesn't count.
and
though,
that's
right?
what this is what it would count. If you had your knees straight and you could put your hands flat, that would be meaning that you're hypermobile.
Right. A lot of people say, can you palm the floor?
Right.
But the knees have to be straight.
And a lot of people think that's a good thing, and if you're hypermobile in all the other joints, that's not necessarily a good thing that
Right.
you can put your hands on the
Sure.
floor. It's just, so. All right, Brad. So you've discovered that you have 6 points or more.
Sure.
If you're having painful joints along with that, I'd see the doctor actually.
Sure, yep.
Because there's some other issues there's Marfan's disease and stuff like that show up with things like this. So you really want to make sure it's checked out
Yep.
if you're having some of the issues. Now, our advice to you is we got some things that you want to really be aware of. One thing is, with your posture, you want to avoid positions where you do have the joints at the end range. And
So, yeah, we better define end range.
yeah, that means that the joint is all the way straight.
Yeah,
Okay?
it can't go any farther.
Right. So the most common one I would say, Brad, is like if you have knees that do hyperextend, and I had this problem. I used to stand with my knees locked.
So if we look at here.
Yeah. We can go ahead and bring it up.
Oh, sure, Bob. Show a little leg.
So I used to stand like this with my knees locked, and I did this all the time, and it was stretching out further and
Yep.
further over time, Brad. I was starting to get knee pain. I had a patient one time, Brad. He worked at Subway, and he came into me, and he was probably 15 degrees hyperextended,
Yep.
and it would just jam his joint all night long. We had him change that one thing. Just had him start standing with his knees bent slightly or one foot in front of the other like this, and his knee pain went away.
Sure.
So this is really critical that you don't. I have to watch it all the time. That I don't sit and put my feet up on an ottoman. Is that what it's called?
Ottoman, yeah.
And just let my legs relax like this because it'll stretch them out.
Right, yeah.
So
And that pretty much goes for anybody, but people that are hypermobile, it's even quite a bit more problematic.
right, and you're a person if you're hypermobile and you got hypermobility in the fingers too. You don't want to be in an occupation like giving massages or
Yeah, exactly.
Doing something where you're putting a lot of stress on the joints of the
Right.
hand.
Well, they even say long-term typing can cause problems.
Right.
They're saying use a transcriber where voice recognition is a lot more
Exactly.
available now.
Writing would be worse than typing.
Right. Particularly
And-
if people that grab their pen or their pencil and they really put a lot of pressure and they're
Right.
putting their joints to you ever see that extended finger joint?
Exactly. Let's go up to the shoulder, Brad.
Sure.
You're going to be more likely to dislocate your shoulder. You're going to be that pitcher that can probably go way back
Right.
here. But this is the position you want to avoid with the shoulder is flexion and external rotation
Right.
like this.
That's the
This
most
is-
vulnerable
yeah,
position.
This is how the shoulder pops out actually in people who are hypermobile.
Right. The easiest.
So, all right. What about strengthening, Brad? It is important to do some strengthening if you
Right,
can.
because this can help the situation,
Right.
but you need to do it properly.
Right.
So if you're, let's say for example, where's our weight? We don't have that. I thought we had it right behind me. If you're doing curls, this is just an example because
Sure.
you're probably not going to do. You may do curls if it's a guy looking for some attention from the girls. You're not going to go all the way out into that hyperextension.
Right.
You're just going to go down so there's still some flexion or not quite straight, and do that joint that
Are
way.
you saying curls for the girls, Brad?
Well, When
All
I was
right.
in high school, that's what I did.
And isometrics are actually good too. Like let's say you want to strengthen your knee, Brad.
Yep.
You could do straight leg raises, which you're just going like this and you're lifting up like this and you're holding it.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Working those quads.
Yep. And you're strengthening the joint without putting stress on it.
Right.
So that's a great one to do. Push-ups. You can do push-ups.
Right. Yeah,
Just
go
don't-
ahead. Demonstrate the right and the wrong way.
I wouldn't do full, and I don't know that I'd even go onto my wrists like this, Brad, because that's probably putting a lot of stress on them.
Yeah, a lot of stress on that wrist.
You can go a little more neutral like this,
Mm-hmm.
and this puts less stress on the ligaments. Now the stress is on the palm.
Right.
And they got the push-up thing called the perfect push-up. I think we did a review on
Yep.
that. If I remember, I'll put a link on
Sure.
that.
Okay.
But you can just go ahead and these are not perfect ones. Do I have room?
But it's still nice. You can just use, you don't have to have these. If you got some dumbbells that are big enough in diameter,
Yep.
you can use that. Look at that, Bob, pump away some push-ups. Now, he's not going to go all the way to
up.
extension. He's just going to keep the
Right.
elbow. Can you stop right up there? He's going to stop here. There's still some flexion in the elbow.
Right. How long are you going to make me stop there?
See how tough he is. How about...
I'm not.
How about squats?
Yeah, you want to show a
Right. Yeah.
squat? This is where the ball comes in handy, Brad. 'Cause
Yeah.
There's a lot of exercises you can do for strengthening without putting a lot of stress on the joints.
And right up here, you're not going to go all the way and lock your knees out. And most people don't on this anyways. It's just kind of a natural thing just to go up so far. But keep in mind, if you got this problem, to really keep those quad strength and only go partial way.
Yeah.
This is a great quad
Yeah,
strength
I love
exercise.
that one. Brad, let's just talk about cardio a little bit too. Running's not going to be the best for you.
Yeah.
Pretty bad impact, but you could do the elliptical.
Sure.
Swimming is good, but we talked about that you may want to use a kickboard.
Right. You're probably not going to do the crawl because that really brings those shoulders into that, near that end range, but the breaststroke would be great.
Or a kick, like what, kick.
Kickboard where you...
Kickboard.
Right. You're not using your arms. You're just kicking with your feet. Again, all in neutral position.
Right. So that would help you get your cardio. Walking obviously is fine too.
Sure.
So,
Yep.
all right. This isn't the end of the world if you are hypermobile, but you want to, protect yourself to make sure that you don't injure your joints.
Absolutely.
And remember, Brad and I can fix just about anything.
I thought maybe you were going to say we're pretty, but not pretty ugly.
Oh, that's right. Remember, Brad and I are pretty.
pretty ugly.
Pretty ugly. No, we're pretty surprised that you're with us right now. We want you to stay with us. So.
Yeah, it's been quite a while.
Okay, thanks.